Hello, welcome back to Hunter Tune. Today I'm out at the shop working on this EK Coupe. It has a GSR engine in it and a turbo kit, and I'm going to show you guys that in a second. But it's gorgeous outside. We finally got some nice weather here in Wisconsin. I think today's like 72 and sunny. Awesome day to ride my monkey to work. So I plan on doing some videos with this bike very soon. And I do have some stuff filmed with it. I did a full build on this bike, and it's a ripper. It's a ton of fun, and I can't wait to show you guys more. I know there's actually quite a few of you that have been begging me for Grom content and mini bike content. So I have some really exciting content coming soon for the bikes in general. There's a really big surprise coming, so be sure to subscribe if you guys are new, and I can't wait to start doing more stuff with that. In the meantime, we are fixing broken Hondas. So this car came in for a tune. The guy scheduled with me, and he ended up bringing it in, and the car did not idle when he dropped it off. So this car came in, you would start it, and it would just kind of die. It wouldn't even stay running. And I plugged into the Honda immediately, and check engine light came up, and it was for the idle air control. So he had the idle air control valve plugged in on the back. Back here is the idle air control valve. He had it plugged in, but he was using this plug right here. So it was the wrong plug. It has the same plug, but the wires were different. They weren't for the idle air. So whenever you're plugging in your idle air control valve, you always got to make sure there's a blue wire in the connection. So the blue and black wire is always usually for the idle air control. And I got that plugged in properly, and the car started idling. Since then, I let it idle for a couple minutes in the shop just to kind of warm it up before I pulled it onto the dyno. And it was sitting here initially. This was actually like a couple days ago already, and I cleaned up what I could. But the roller is like stained, you can see here, and like all of this is all oil, and all of this up here is also oil that's just kind of stained on the floor that I got to clean up because this car actually broke the block, you could say. The oil pressure sensor was tapped to run an aftermarket oil pressure gauge. They had it tapped, and they must have tightened it too far, and the block actually broke off. And I have pictures of the broken piece. If you guys know, when you tighten into the 1/8 inch pipe thread on the back of the block, you can't really crank on it super hard. You got to get it tight enough so it doesn't leak, but you can't over tighten it, because if you over tighten it, you risk cracking the block or breaking the block in this case. So the piece actually broke off, and it just poured oil out. You got to think 80 pounds of oil pressure this thing had, and just a gaping hole right where there's pressure. It came out quick and in a hurry. So all the oil just spilled out of it. So I called them, and I'm like, hey, this thing's broken. It's puking oil. And he knew exactly what it was because they had previously tried to epoxy the fitting back on, and the epoxy held for like 2 minutes, and then it broke. So he knew right what it was, but he bought the engine like that. He didn't personally do it. So he kind of got screwed over a little bit, and I felt really bad because I wanted to help this guy out. And he said, hey man, no problem, I'll come get the car, I'll fix it, and then I'll come back. And I have a really hard time saying no. I just have a really hard time saying no, and I'm going to get better at it with time because I want to focus more on YouTube and do really cool, exciting videos instead of just working all the time. If I want to grow at all, I have to focus more on YouTube, and I hope you guys are going to understand. I'm still going to do tuning, but just not as much, and I want to focus more on my website and making awesome YouTube videos. So that's what I want to do this summer, or at least try to. Still going to be doing tuning here and there, but anyways, I just have a really hard time saying no, and when I do that, I overwhelm myself, and it just sucks, and then I hate cars. It just sucks. So he brought it. I just said, hey, I'll try to fix it. So I ended up tapping the block farther, and I put a plug in it, and it seems to be good now. So it is still seeping because where it broke, it also put a hairline crack in it. So that hairline crack, I actually tried JB welding over, and now it's not leaking on the ground at all. It's just like barely seeping out of that JB weld. So like, it was either that or pull the engine out and take it somewhere and have it all welded, which I don't have the time for. And this guy didn't want to do either. He just needs to get the thing tuned so he can fix that, and then the car's tuned. It's ready to go. Tuning will be out of the way for him. He just has to worry about the other small stuff. So got it fixed, strapped it on the dyno, runs pretty good. Made a pull last night, and let's just say this thing's a turd. It hit the boost cut. I think it was like a 10-pound boost cut that I had set. It hit the boost cut and it made like 110 horsepower. And I'm like, man, a GSR engine with a top mount manifold and like a 35R up pipe. What? Like, even on like all motor, this thing should make more power than that. Yeah, it made 104 horsepower. 104 right on the money. And you can see it hit the boost cut right when VTEC hit. So, and it was just really lazy. I mean, like, my fucking Honda Monkey probably makes more power than this at fucking 3,500 RPM, you know, like at 50 horsepower or something like that. It's only making down low, which is just, it's just really sluggish. So I'm like, why is this thing down on power? Voila! It's actually off a tooth on the intake cam. So if we look at these marks right here, they're marked with this white paint. There's a mark here and a mark right there. So the exhaust cam, the one on the left, is in time. The one on the right is the intake cam. It is a tooth off, you can see. So this cam on this side needs to rotate down in order to get this in time. The bottom on the harmonic balancer is lined up. So on the harmonic balancer, you always want to go for the single dash. Right there, lined up. So we know that the crank is on time. So now I just pulled off the timing cover and the valve cover, and I got the tensioner loose with the 14 mil that's down here. So now I'm going to wheel the belt off, and I'm going to rotate this cam one tooth. When you do this, there is a technique. I've showed it in videos before. If you guys want to go check those out, go check through my videos. I've shown exactly how to do this a couple times. And I think I was talking to a guy on Facebook last night, and I just said, like, I would rather spend more time on YouTube showing how to do stuff than actually doing it for people. So, anyways, I'm gonna get this timing job fixed up, and then after the timing job is done, we will proceed to get this thing put back together and finish dynoing it, and hopefully we make some good power and he can come pick it up. All right guys, so I got the timing job done, and this thing is running really smooth now. Very smooth running motor. I went in the tune and I actually added about 10% fuel overall to all of it, because I'm sure with the timing being on, it's going to be a little bit more efficient, make more power. More power means it needs more fuel, so let's see what she does, and we'll compare the dyno curve before and after fixing the timing. did just want to kind of hop on here and explain all the smoke from the dyno pulls. This turbo has a ton of shaft play. It still makes good power, and it's just like an eBay turbo, but the turbo is definitely a little wore out, and this car is on pump gas, and pump gas tends to just create more, you know, it's just not as good, you know, it's just not as clean burning. They tend to soot a lot more, and yeah, but a lot of it's just oil smoke from the turbo, but I'm working with what he's got, and I mean, it's a way better car now than it was. I think sounds pretty good. The first pull I got out of it because when I crossed into VTEC, I forgot to add the fuel on the VTEC side, so I caught that right away, added fuel for the second round, and she's making some stink. It sounds pretty good. It came up on the pipe pretty good, so look, oh my God. You know what's funny, guys, is I actually lowered the boost between this and this. You can tell, I'll expand out and show you the real curve, but this is before when the timing was 1 tooth off, and that's what it is now. So we'll zoom in on this so you can get a better picture. So there's our power curve. That's how it should be looking. And we made 332 horsepower compared to 104. Crazy. So that's awesome. I'm gonna lower VTEC down, and we'll spin this thing up again. It almost sounded like the tires were spinning a little, or the clutch was slipping. It might be spinning the tires a little bit because the roller is full of oil on the one side. So I'm gonna check this thing over a little bit and see what it made for boost, and we'll go again. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed me finishing up on this little white EK coupe. Like I said, stock GSR, pump gas, made about 11 pounds of boost, 330 horsepower, not too shabby. It's an eBay turbo setup with the Rev 9 top mount Rev 9 top mount turbo manifold, which I actually really like these manifolds. I ran them on a couple of my cars. The turbo is a little but maybe he'll upgrade in the future. And put this thing on corn. I don't see why we couldn't go 400 horse on this thing. So yeah, came in spewing oil, bunch of stuff that I got figured out, and now it's a solid little ripper. So yeah, like I said, that before and after is crazy. That is crazy difference just from being a tooth off. So there's the last pull that I did here, the light blue. It's a lot smoother than it was the pass before. Pulled a smidge of power out of it just to keep it safe. 322 horsepower it's leaving on out the door, and yeah, we're all good to go here. Thanks for watching, guys, and honestly, stay tuned for what's coming. I'm really excited for the little projects that I have coming, and I think you guys will really enjoy them too. So have a great night and a better tomorrow. Stay tuned for more Integra content coming soon as well, because I do have that thing still tore apart in my driveway. So I can't wait to show you guys more with that thing. If you guys haven't watched the me starting the process of turboing my K-swapped Integra, you should probably go check out the previous video that I just posted. We're turboing my K24 swapped Integra in my driveway at home. I could do it out here at the shop at the lift and the dyno and everything like that, but I want to relate to you guys. So go check it out. So have a great night, better tomorrow. We will see you later. I'm gonna monkey on home.